Hello everyone. Now we shall discuss about image segmentation based on clustering. There are some techniques in the machine learning where we can able to find a similarity among the data samples based on the feature attributes. So you can see here I have been provided with raw data. This raw data is having different shapes with different colors. So our ultimate aim here is to segregate each and every similar data samples. So here we find a square box with red in color and a circle with green in color and a triangle with black in color. So our ultimate aim is to arrange the similar attributes, and that means we are grouping the similar attributes from this raw data. So here we do call the grouping here or the concatenation of the similar data types in the raw data samples is nothing but the clustering. So clustering is an important because it determines the intrinsic grouping among the unlabeled data, because I didn't have given the name for these data samples. And we know that the segmentation is nothing but it is grouping together the pixels that have similar visual attributes. So these attributes may be of texture, color, shape or anything. As at each pixel in an image, so here you can see in this image we have, so at each pixel, so let us assume this image is divided or partitioned into 4 segments or 4 regions. So each and every region is depicted here and this is the entire image. So the image itself is having enormous number of pixels. So at each and every pixel in the image we have the feature vectors which are demonstrated here. So these feature vectors nothing but they describe the pixels here. These feature vectors are seen as a points in the high dimensional feature space. So if you assume this is the input image that is being provided to you, if I would like to imagine this entire image into a high dimensional feature space, in this way it happens. So this high dimensional feature space, we have a different number of points here. So these points are nothing but the feature vectors which are representing a particular pixels in an image. So in this image we do have a pixel, and for each pixel we do have a feature vector. So these are projected into a feature space which is of high dimensional thing. So we can able to see different colors. So like each and every color is giving us some information like t-shirts, trousers, dresses, coat, sandals, shirts, sneakers and bag, etc. So all these elements are present in this image. So coming to the main aim is here we are going to study about the k-means clustering. So here an input image is provided to you, that is where we can able to find different number of objects. Our main task is to segment the objects in an image which are having a similar features inside it. So in this k-means clustering algorithm we look for k segments in an image. So in this image you can see there are plenty number of segments which carries the same attributes or information. We take this image and map it into the feature space. In this manner it happens. So our ultimate aim here is to find the means of these k clusters, because as I have said you some objects in the image are having similar attributes. So we are grouping together, that means concatenating together these attributes. So the thing or the points which are having of same color, that means these are the alike attributes. So alike objects. So alike objects are clustered at one part in this feature space. So this is orange attributes, yellow attributes, green, blue, in this manner. So that means can I say these are nothing but the segments in an image. So these segments in an image have to be grouped by using this feature space. So we can able to find in the feature space the points. So we call these points as the data samples. Our ultimate aim here is to cluster the data samples present in the image. And we are clustering the data samples, of course. And next we are going to find the means for all these clusters, because we are doing the segmentation here. That is, segmentation is grouping together the pixels that have the similar visual attributes. So this is the what you can see. So in brief, the k-means clustering is nothing but it assumes that the number of clusters are already known. It is also called as a flat clustering algorithm. The number of clusters here are identified from the data which is given to us by the algorithm itself. That is why it is a k-means algorithm. So k-means clustering algorithm computes the centroids and iterates until it finds optimal centroid. So let me explain you this point here. So I have provided with some data samples here that are n number of data samples I am having here, which are represented by green in color, as you can see in the figure here. So our aim is partitioning the data points. So here I need to partition the data points into k clusters. So and after that I need to find out the centroid for each cluster. So as by seeing here, I can visualize that only there are, this is one part of cluster and this is one cluster that I can imagine. But I need to find out where my centroid among these number of data samples, where the centroid is located in this cluster and also where the centroid is located in this cluster. So for which let me assume that I am having here n number of data points. So and also by seeing I can assume that there are actually two clusters. Okay, so for if I am having k number of clusters, that means k clusters, for which I need to find out k centroids. So here two clusters are there, I need to find only two centroids for this group as well as for this group. So I am randomly selecting some centroids. So let me keep, because as I am having here two clusters, so let me randomly select two data sample. So that is into X mark here and X mark here. One X mark is in red in color and one X mark is in blue in color. Let me assume these are some randomly selected centroids. Okay. Now what I am doing here, so these all are nothing but the data samples. So distance between each data sample point and the cluster I am finding out here. So first few data points, so here you can see the first few data points here and here are assigned to this centroid, that is X mark, and here also these data points which are nearer to here are assigned to this centroid. So these data samples are assigned to this centroid and these data samples are assigned to this centroid here. Then after that one, I am not going to relax, because I am here to find the optimal centroid for my data set samples or the data sets. Now what I am doing, I am recomputing the centroid. So as this X mark along with these red points and these red points comes under one cluster group now, because and this blue color data samples along with this blue color X mark comes under one cluster group. Now again what I am not relaxing myself, I am again finding out the centroid for this cluster as well as for this cluster. So now the centroid which I was assumed here in previously, now the centroid is getting shifted to here. So the same thing you can see, this centroid is getting shifted here, and coming to this blue cross, the centroid is being shifted to here. So that means shifting of the centroid is happening. So this procedure has to be done until all the data samples belonging to one cluster centroid and all this data sample belongs to one cluster centroid. So this will be my final result that I am going to obtain here. So the main objective of this k-means algorithm is finding the means of the k clusters is the ultimate objective. So in simple, what I have done is I may have k number of clusters. And for k number of clusters means k number of centroids I have to pick randomly, but here 2 number of clusters are there, 2 number of centroids, so these are treated as the initial centroids, okay, of the 2 clusters in this feature space. So as I have said you that a pixel is nothing but it carries a feature vector. These feature vectors are projected into the feature space. The same thing I have discussed in this slide. Now, so this that means these all the points, these all are the data points that are present in the feature space. Now for each pixel is nothing but each feature vector xj. So let me assume this green color is nothing but some e pixel. So some random pixel, let me name it as an xj. So what I am doing, I am finding out the nearest cluster. So which centroid. So which is the nearest cluster centroid for this point, this one or this one. So based on some Euclidean distance or some kind of distance measures, I am finding out here. So now this pixel sj is associated with some feature that is called fj, because x is nothing but pixel, f is nothing but feature. So let me call this pixel xj is associated with some feature fj. And what after knowing that this pixel is very nearer to this centroid means I am assigning this pixel to this centroid here. So assigning pixel to cluster centroid 1. Now recomputing the mean, because we need to recompute, because this is now the new cluster that I have formed. So recomputing the mean for each cluster here and here using its assigned data points or feature points or pixels. And so how far it have to go means such that the centroid, whatever the shift that is happening here, from here and from here. So this is my last centroid mean. That means this is my last mean for this segment, and this is the last mean for this segment. So after that one, I didn't find a good change in the centroid. That means the change is, if it is less than some threshold, I am going to stop the operation. But if the mean of this cluster is more than some threshold means I need to recompute the mean by grouping the pixels in the feature space. So this is about the k-means clustering, and the same thing I have projected here. It is the working principle of your k-means clustering algorithm.